you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
One show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We're coming at you live from DirtFish Rally School in Snoqualmie, Washington today, and stoked to be back at this absolutely amazing, beautiful facility. Sorry to those tuned in right away. We had a hiccup with our audio system, had to reboot the show, and things happen when you're coming at you live from a remote location, but no harm, no foul. We got 2 hours of radio packed into the Down and Dirty Radio Show today, live from DirtFish Rally School. Kicking things off, we are going to have GRC Lights winner from Detroit, Tanner Whitten, my DirtFish Rally teammate, drives a DirtFish GRC Lights car. He's going to be calling in. That's right, calling in, not actually at the school today. He's coming in on Wednesday, so he's going to be doing a phone-in interview here at DirtFish. Makes it kind of interesting. Most times I'm in the studio. He's calling in from DirtFish. Now I'm at DirtFish. He's not here. He's calling into the studio at DirtFish. So, things happen. But also Levi, Lavallee, Cottew, my two good friends from Terracross, snowmobile racers. They are here, and we got some interviews with them. But before we get to those interviews, we got Tanner Whitten on the line. How's everything going, Tanner?
Hey, Jim. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, buddy. I'm sitting here at DirtFish, and you are not.
I am not there. I am back home in the Midwest for a week or so, doing some marketing work with my father, and just kind of getting the car re-ready for the next race in DC coming up next weekend. And I'm actually coming back to Northwest later this week. So. We just missed each other. Yeah,
I know. I think I fly out and you fly in. So it's things happen. We'll have to get together again sometime. But let's talk a little bit about GRC Lights, buddy. You've had a good year so far. Your times have been spot on. I mean, you've been running up front, taking some podiums, finally putting it all together, taking home that win at Detroit. How'd it feel?
Feels really good. It kind of feels like there's a big weight lifted off of our shoulders, because we've known as a team since the beginning that we've been able to run with these guys and we've been able to run up front. And, it was just kind of a matter of time for the guys to kind of get everything not nailed down perfect, to where we could go out there and get that first win. So good to get the first one off of our back, but now we're just ready to go out and get some more. The first one's always the hardest, so I think we're in a good position to stay in the points fight. Had a little bit of bad luck on Sunday, and had some bad luck on the car and kind of a bad lane choice, and led to us not being able to finish the final. But hey, that's racing. Everyone has their DNFs throughout the year, and I'm just ready to go for the next one. We're ready.
Yeah. Well, and and I compare it to Ken Block, and I mean, Ken there for a while, I mean, he went through his first couple of years of his GRC career winless, and he'd run up front, have a mechanical issue, somebody put him in the wall. Just he was followed by a string of bad luck, and then he got the monkey off his back in Vegas 2 years ago. And the past 2 years, he's literally had a run second to none, winning all these events. And now he's the winningest driver in GRC history in just 2 years, where these other guys have had 4 or 5. But it's like he got the monkey off his back, and then the wins just flowed in. So I'm hoping that's what's happening with you, buddy.
Yeah, if we can go throughout the whole year and our monkey being on our back is just one DNF, I think we're in a good position. So I think we're just ready to go for the next one, and we got everything in place to go forward and take this thing. We're only 16 points out of the lead. That's only 3 positions in one final, so the points are still really, really close.
Yeah, well, and that was what was crazy. I mean, you go in leading the points. You win the opening round at Detroit, so obviously, you continue to stay in the points lead, and then you have bad luck in day number 2, and all of a sudden you drop back, and what, you're in 4th now? I mean, it was just it's crazy how tight points are right now in lights. Yeah,
fourth, only 6 now to lead him, and you mean look at the supercar points, and Ken's like 43 points in the lead, so he's a lot. It just shows you how tight the field is in lights this year. Like I said before, there's 5 or 6 drivers as soon as that final starts, they can go out and win that race. So it's just really cool to see how tight the competition is, and it just makes me feel even luckier to be up front running with those guys.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, you've had a lot of time in these cars. I know you've tested them off and on, but some of these drivers have been in the series a couple of years, and and you and I both know, test miles don't mean race miles, and you always learn things in race conditions that that you maybe didn't you just didn't know. I mean, because you can't replicate those in testing, and as much seat time as you had. I mean, once you get in the car, banging doors with people, I mean, you're always going to move the program forward.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do in testing. Like you said, we went and did some testing at Evergreen and countless hours of testing at DirtFish getting ready. But there's always kind of that unknown factor going into the first race just to see where you're at and how you stack up. But I think we kind of went into it with a higher expectation than a lot of people might have expected, just because of my experience in the cars and just the DirtFish expertise of Derek and John and Chase and everyone that's there at the school that's been working on this thing. And I think we've put ourselves in a really good position, and I think we've got ourselves set up for the rest of the year. We're just wanting to make a couple changes on setup and things like that. We're still learning the cars. They're a pretty intricate car for how simple of a build they are. So we're still trying to learn the ins and outs and the little tricks of what the car likes to make the car better. So once we get that figured out, I think we're getting really, really close. That we're going to be a force to be reckoned with here.
Yeah. Well, and here's the question, and this is super forward thinking, but it's been tradition that the Lights champion moves on to Supercar. We saw it with Yoni Weeman. Mitchell DeYoung was supposed to, and then something happened with contracts, and we're not going to speculate on that. But he logically was going to be in Supercars this year. I mean, say you go out and win this championship. Is there a possibility we see you in Supercars next year? Or do you think you'd rather spend another year in Lights, further developing your skills?
Well, I mean, I think there's always that chance. Jim, as much as anybody else in motorsports today, it's not always about who can go out and win the championship. It's who can bring the money to the table and who can bring the partners to the table to pay for the thing. Because it's those factory deals are far and few between. So we're just trying to focus on this year, and we've got a couple hooks out in the water fishing for some deals, for some supercar stuff. But we're really focused on this year, wanting to get that title wrapped up, and that just makes selling sponsorship deal for a supercar a whole lot easier. So I think that's kind of our goal. Sure, a supercar deal next year would be phenomenal, and it's kind of always been my goal to race here in GRC as well as the RX over in Europe. So it's just a matter of finding the right partners that can help me put that program together, and then that's kind of how it's going to have to go.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have, I was noticing, you started the year off and the car was, all DirtFish branded, and, you guys have had some pretty unique sponsors come on, and I know the past couple of races, you've had a mix of different companies involved. I know at one point Harley Davidson was on the car and some others,
yep.
Right?
Yeah, so and this past weekend we had the Traction Factor on board, and their other marketing agency out of Milwaukee, and they do a lot of things in some other forms of motorsports like NASCAR and NHRA with their Snap-on brand. So they're definitely a good introduction to Snap-on for us, and just they're going to be helping us out a little bit going and finding the right sponsorship for moving forward, and just great to have a partner like that on board. So it's been good so far. We've gotten some different partners on board, and I think we're in good shape for the rest of the season.
Nice. Talking about, the DirtFish program, obviously, they've invested a ton. I know there's a couple of cars here. People can actually, if you have the right pedigree and you go through the right classes, people can actually drive a GRC light car here at DirtFish. I think this is literally one of the only places in the world where that can happen. I mean, with the success we've seen so far with this program, do you think, another young, talented driver, that had some money to bring to the table? I mean, do you see DirtFish possibly running a 2-car team in the future?
I think that's kind of been our ultimate goal. It's just a matter of finding the right partners and finding the right drivers to go out and do it. We're not the type of people that want to just pick a driver because of their money or anything like that. We want to pick drivers that can go out and win races. So I think that's kind of the ultimate goal, is find the right drivers with the right partners and trying to go out and do what we've been doing this year, go out there and get the podiums, go out there, get the wins, and stay up there in the points chase. So it's all a matter of if we can find the right stuff. I think I would love to work on that driver development side of the team, have a 2 or maybe even 3-car team in the future. But like I said, just a matter of finding the right drivers.
Yeah. Well, and you obviously not only you drive it in the program, in the lights car, but you've also taken on instructing here at DirtFish. How's that been transitioning, from being coached to actually coaching?
I think it's actually made the process a little bit smoother. I'm sure when I'm racing, I'm not in the car at the school as much as I would like to be, just because of the travel schedule and things like that. But whenever I am in the car, I think it definitely makes it a little bit easier for me to talk to my students on what they need to do in the car. Just having that real life experience, I think, definitely makes a huge difference. And I think they can see that whenever I'm instructing, that it's coming from the heart and that I know what I'm talking about. So I think it's just been a really nice transition. It's been really fun. I'm really surprised at how fun instructing is, just taking someone that maybe doesn't understand the fundamentals of it to them blowing through corners and just nailing corners left and right. Be like, wow, I did that. Like, it's a pretty rewarding job for sure.
Yeah. Well, and how does what you're doing at the school on a daily basis, training, drivers? Because obviously, as an instructor, you get quite a bit of seat time, just showing them the proper technique through the corners and stuff like that. I mean, is that, you feel like that, being in the car every day, whether it's a lights car or just, a super production Subaru, something similar to what, school cars are. I mean, do you think that really has benefited you as a driver this year? I mean, not many drivers can be in a car on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a matter of being comfortable in a car that's sliding through the dirt. I think that's kind of where we've shown over the season so far that we've been probably the most competitive in the dirt sections, just because of my comfort level in the car at DirtFish, and that's a lot of what the guys that are working on our car have experience in, is getting that car dialed in for the dirt, and that's where a lot of these passes have been made for us. So I think it's definitely made a huge difference.
Yeah, well, it probably is the best of both worlds, because you come from an asphalt or a tarmac background, and and now being able to have the experience of the dirt here at DirtFish and the crew that knows setting up cars for the dirt. I mean, you guys literally bring stuff from both worlds, and it's definitely benefited the program.
Yeah, it's definitely a very well-rounded program, and I'm really excited moving forward to see what these guys can do. And we're still figuring out a couple of things on tarmac, because that's where a lot of the speeds being attested to with a lot of these other teams. But I think we're getting really, really close to being with those guys, and I think we're going to be in really good shape here moving forward.
Yeah, well, and I think we've got Washington, D.C. up next. That's going to be probably 90% tarmac, but then L.A. will be similar to that. But you go to Bushy Park for a doubleheader down there in Barbados, and from what I understand, that was some of the drivers' favorite venue from last year, and that's predominantly, I don't know if we want to call it dirt, but it's definitely not tarmac. It's kind of a white surface, sandy surface, but definitely catered to your driving set.
Yeah, it's cool that we're going to Barbados to this purpose-built rallycross track, just to kind of go back to the rallycross roots of what it's all about. All those purpose-built tracks over in Europe and Scandinavia and things like that. So I think Barbados is going to be probably one of the coolest races of the year for us, especially being a doubleheader. I think it'll be cool to get a lot of seat time on a track like that. And I've been doing some research, and it looks like the dirt at Barbados isn't necessarily dirt. It's like crushed seashells. So it's like a really fine kind of powder sort of material. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how these Yokohamas deal with that surface.
Yeah, and talking with the drivers last year, supercar drivers, I mean, you tell them to pick their favorite venue of last year, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear Bushy Park. So, sounds like it should be a fun one. Any other venues you're looking forward to coming up?
Man, I wish we were going back to DirtFish. That's kind of my thing. I keep saying is it would have been awesome for us to come back to DirtFish, but I think they're going to see that they need us moving forward next year. So. I think hopefully we'll see DirtFish back on the schedule for next year. But Vegas is always a cool one. I went to my first GRC race ever back in 2012 in Las Vegas, so it's kind of like a going home reunion for me. So I'm excited to go back to SEMA and actually race there this year. So Vegas is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, SEMA's definitely. One's always off the hook. Packed stands, and it's a great way to cap things off. Right there on the strip and crown a champion. And that one I've been able to call it the past 2 years, and it's always a special event.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, buddy. Sorry we couldn't hook up while I'm up here. I'm gonna go out and slay some tires on some of these cars you guys got sitting around.
Absolutely. Are you taking a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive?
It's all-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive stuff, I do that in the trophy truck all day long. And I like doing the all-wheel drive stuff just because I feel like it helps me build a different skill set. I can transfer more over because there's still stuff I don't know. Not to say I know everything in a rear-wheel drive car, but it also helps with the RZR racing I'm doing and stuff like that because they're all-wheel drive. So, yeah, we're definitely taking some all-wheel drive. We got Levi Lavallee here and Cole Cottew, so we got a couple other racers taking the class and see what these sled heads think of rally cars here in just a little bit.
Very cool. Should be a fun transition for those guys.
Yeah, everybody's looking around, and Levi and Travis know each other really well. And Travis, he wants to, we're showing him all the stuff Travis wants to do here, like jump off the stack and jump the lake, and and Levi's just shaking his head, but that's Travis, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, you take it easy, my friend. We'll definitely catch up with you after DC, and hopefully we can get that points lead back home here at DirtFish.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. It's always been the plan from day one. So we're hungry for it.
All right, sounds good, buddy, and we'll talk soon.
All right, see you, Jim. Have fun out there.
All right, you too. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye. All right, that was Tanner Whitten calling in. GRC Lights points, not points leader anymore, but he's going to be after this next round, almost guaranteed. Washington, D.C., definitely a front runner in the series. Some amazing times. I mean, you just such a highly successful program in its rookie year. It takes a while to build a program, but DirtFish has definitely done it right with their GRC lights, and right out of the box, Tanner has been competitive, got his first win. He had the points lead for a few rounds, and he's right there and hoping to take it back in Washington, D.C. As we talk GRC, we got D.C. left. We got a doubleheader in Los Angeles, doubleheader in Barbados, and then the finale on the Strip in Las Vegas. So, hopefully Down and Dirty Radio Show will be at Vegas for sure. We got some cool plans around that. Hopefully finalize some of them here in the next week or two, but definitely going to do some fun and cool stuff there. But man, it is definitely rally season, especially GRC rally season, man. They're, knee deep in points battles, both in the lights. Ken Block just flat sending it. And, in the supercars and just being dominant. But definitely lots more to come on that front. Right now, though, we've got some interviews. I was able to catch up with Levi Lavallee, Cole Cottew about an hour ago. They were getting ready to go into the classroom setting. So I was able to get a couple of interviews with those boys and kind of talk with them about what to expect here at DirtFish. And then we've also got an interview we're going to air in a little bit with Nate Tennis. who is one of the OGs here at DirtFish, longtime instructor, and one of the guys here from the beginning, and kind of talk about how DirtFish has changed. And then we've also got James Rimmer, drives a BRZ for DirtFish in Stage Rally, and then Steve Rimmer, he's going to be here as well, who is the owner of DirtFish Rally School, and then Amy Hood going to cap off things today. But right now we got that interview with Levi, Lavallee, Cottew coming right at you. All right, we are here at DirtFish Rally hanging out with Levi, Lavallee, Cottew, getting ready to go into 3 days worth of rally. How's everything going, guys?
It's going well, man. I'm excited. It's this is a new experience for me, and the dirt is a little different than snow, so we'll see. Hopefully, I can keep it on all four.
Yeah. How about you, Cole? I mean, I know this is a little bit different. You've been doing some Terracrossing and snowmobile racing. I mean, pretty excited about this?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like Levi said, it's dirt and not really snow, so interested seeing how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I was just looking back and having you sit here in the headset. I'm going, damn, how many times have we had Levi on this year so far? I'm like, it's been something crazy. Like, I almost feel like I need to get you on the payroll or something.
Yeah, I've been on quite a few times, but it's always good. I always like talking with you, and, this is such a cool experience, being able to, it's actually probably a good thing that we're doing it now because, I haven't got in the car and I haven't wrecked yet, so we might be doing the next one from the hospital, so who knows?
Well, we like to do follow-ups. I may have to set this stuff up at the end of day 3 and get like a post-event quotes or something, right? It would have been like me at Terracross a couple weeks ago. I was all amped up, and then post-event, not so good, right?
It was fun. It was good entertainment. I know, I felt kind of bad because you were following my lead. I'm supposed to be the guy showing you, like, yeah, here, speed check off of me, and then I turn around and look, and I see you cartwheeling, and I'm like, did I not do my job right? What went wrong?
I will promise you, at Minnesota, I won't come up short. I may go up long and lawn dart it, but I won't be short.
That's awesome.
Up here at DirtFish, stoked to have you guys up here. I mean, this place kind of near and dear to my heart, great partner of mine. But, talking to you guys after San Diego, I think you're both pretty amped. And I don't know. I know me personally, a lot of this stuff seems like it carries over into Razors pretty well with the all-wheel drive rally cars. And, stoked to see how you guys take to it.
I think you're spot on, with the lack of experience I have with four wheels or four-wheel drive or anything for that matter. It's good. It'll be a good thing for me to kind of hopefully figure things out. One of the things that, I'm hoping to take from this is just slow is fast, just control. Like I've always had too much aggression. Everything is like wide open throttle. That's going to make it happen. And I think that's what I'm hoping to take from this is just like, okay, how to kind of calm down and just drive the car like you're supposed to, and hopefully that can transition over into the Razor, and we can do a little bit better at Terracross.
Yeah, I know my driving coach Winston, he he's told me before I'll go through a corner and, a string of corners and, and I'll have the thing sideways and everything else. I'm like, man, that looked cool. And he goes, yeah, you think that looked cool? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it did look cool. He's like, it was slow as hell. He's like, go back and do it again. He's like, but like you said, sometimes slower is faster, and especially in rally, just because you got the car hung out and, blowing dirt, sometimes it's not exactly the quickest way around the course.
Yeah, that's the truth. I know from experience before, just my dad, we go go-karting, and he's that guy. He's like, oh, did you see I had that thing sideways through the turn? And I'm like, yeah, but I went right around you, like, keep them tires digging. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely sometimes slow is fast.
Yeah, he gets a 10 for presentation, though.
Yeah.
Right? How about you, Cole? I know, obviously you've been doing some Terracross, a lot of snowmobile racing. You're stepping up your program in snowmobile this year, right? Moving up to lights?
Yep, moving up to pro lights, so I'm super excited about that. And but yeah, I'm excited for this. Like Levi said, I'm going to probably be the one that's trying to drift and probably not be going so fast, but trying to have fun and look good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. You were pretty dialed in Terracross there at San Diego. I was pretty impressed. I mean, out of the box, you were right there.
Yeah, we had a good weekend in San Diego. It was my first podium in that. Last year, I think the best I did was like 5th or 6th or something. So felt good to come out and get a podium right away.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I mean, this is going to be. I don't know. You did 1 or 2 rounds last year, Levi.
I did heydays, so I had it was 1 week and 2 rounds, I think, if you want to say. But yeah, so I got 2 races under my belt. That was my 3rd one in San Diego, and and the San Diego one didn't go quite to plan. After they switched from the 4-wheel to 2-wheel drive, I really struggle with that because I'd never tried pushing a RZR in 2-wheel drive, believe it or not. So I went out there the second day in 2-wheel drive, and I was just, style points. I was sideways and everything, and wasn't going forward, but I had her pitch sideways, that's for sure.
Yeah, but, it seems like Terracross, like Cole, it almost takes a good year to figure things out, before you can take a podium. Kids like Guthrie and RJ, those guys are just, they do that stuff in their sleep. So it seems like it takes a little bit of time to figure it out before, to get a podium. I don't know anybody that right out of the box has gone and taken a podium, in their first event.
No, it's definitely harder, and I look at the competition, like you said, Guthrie and RJ and whatnot. I just saw RJ, he crushed it at the Lucas Oil race there, and I think, I'm like, wow, this guy, that's what he's done his whole life is race 4 wheels, and I'm coming off of snow going, yeah, I'm gonna come out swinging. Good luck, So hopefully we can get, be in the ballpark with those guys is kind of the goal. But I know I got a lot of ground to cover to catch up with all that experience they have.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and talking to you, Cole, what are your goals this year? Obviously Pro Light, you're running Terracross. Anything else popping up?
No, just keep doing the RZR thing, see how that goes. Hopefully get a couple more podiums, And then, Pro Light, Snocross, and I'm really excited for the season. I feel really ready already, so I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, it's got to be pretty exciting because I'm assuming you'll get to go to X Games, Winter X, be your first time at Winter X, maybe?
Well, I actually qualified for the Hillcross event,
okay.
But Snocross, they invite only like 2 or 3 of the Pro Light riders, so not sure. I think I'd have to be leading points, but whenever they decide to do it, so we'll see. Maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of a long shot right now.
Yeah. See, take it as it comes, right?
Yeah.
Just come out swinging at the first couple races, and you'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Put on a show anyways. They like people to put on a show.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I know I got classes going to start here in just a little bit, but stoked for you guys to be up here, and we're going to have some fun in some rally cars next 3 days.
Amen. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fun.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Always good catching up with Levi Lavallee and Cole Cottew. Cole said it before, and I will definitely say it again. This kid is he's a beast, man. Whether it be in RZRs or snowmobile racing, moving up into lights. He's just killing it in RZRs. This kid, young kid, and bright future ahead of him in motorsports. Comes from a good family. Just solid people, and I think whatever choice he eventually makes, whether he goes the snowmobile route or decides to transition into more 4 wheels, he's definitely going to be successful. He's one of those kids coming up that you just watch. It's like we said with Mitchell DeYoung and C.J. Greaves. And Sheldon Creed. I put him in that group. You watch him because in the next 4 or 5 years, you're going to hear the name a lot. So there you go. But right now, we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, coming at you live from DirtFish. And we come back, we're going to have some more interviews. Got James Rimmer stopping by. We're going to talk some rally action with him. We've also got an interview with Nate Tennis. We got GRC owner. Sorry about that. We have DirtFish owner Steve Rimmer. He's going to be stopping by. We're going to talk some vintage rally cars, and then we've got capping things off, Amy Hood. So lots more to come here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, DirtFish Rally Edition. And those of you wanting a discount at DirtFish Rally School, I'm going to throw a code at you today. Definitely throw a code at you today, and we're gonna see if you can get some goodies. So here you go. Here's your code for a discount at DirtFish Rally School. It is JBDF 2015R, 10% off. JBDF 2015R. That'll get you 10% off any class at DirtFish. So there you go. We'll give that out throughout the day. But that is your code, JBDF 2015R. And we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we got a lot more coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, DirtFish Rally Edition.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Lavallee, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi Lavallee to 10 X Games medals, Snocross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi Lavallee and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. And, man, it's a beautiful day up here in Snoqualmie, Washington at DirtFish Rally School. And throwing it down with some radio here live remotely. I am in what they call the McRae room. That's right, their conference room, named after the late, great Colin McRae. And I got to tell you, they've got some cool stuff here. I mean, if you're a rally fan, this is literally where you want to take your vacation. They've got, driver's uniforms lining the walls. They've got my driver's uniform from last year next to John Alessi's. Just crazy. Terry Grant's is right there along mine. Travis Pastrana, Bucky Lassig, David Higgins. I mean, just an honor. Ralph Schumacher, Jensen Button. I mean, we're talking, some amazing drivers that my uniform's hung next to. It's mind-boggling to me. But they've got Colin McRae's car, Richard Burns, Subaru. They've got one of only a handful of RS200s in a particular trim that is here, and we're going to have to ask Steve Rimmer the total details on that, because I know it's a rare car, but I don't know what makes this RS200 that specifically rare. So we're definitely going to have to ask him about it. But just an awesome place. I'm going to shoot that code out once more, that discount code for any of you who want to come up here. 10% off any class, JBDF 2015R. That's 10% off JBDF 2015R, and that will definitely get you in the game here at DirtFish. But we are going to continue on, and right now, before classes started, our lead instructor, one of the OGs, a guy that's been here since day one, Nate Tennis. I was able to catch up with him, good friend of mine, and a heck of a wheelman. And so here is that interview. All right, catching up here with Nate Tennis, one of the OG instructors out here at DirtFish. How's it been going, Nate?
It's awesome, man. We're busy as ever and trying to deal with all this hot weather that we have up here.
Yeah, I know it's been pretty warm lately up here. A little bit toasty for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're melting, to be honest with you. We're not used to this stuff. We're passive little Northwesterners that aren't used to that desert weather that you desert racers love so much. So we're kind of melting, and then we're getting crusty with all the dust.
Well, I pull up last night, and they got the sprinklers going, and, grass is yellow, and I'm like, you never see that up here, right?
No, that's definitely not usual. It's been a long time since we've seen any weather like this, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about DirtFish, and everybody says, you can get mud, you can have, dusty conditions. You just never know what you're going to get. I don't know. You guys ever had snow here? I know it's got to be a rarity, right?
Not nearly as much as we want, yeah. I mean, it snowed occasionally, but just in general, the Northwest doesn't really get that much. At least our area doesn't get that much. So I wish we got more. Man, I wish we got more. But we can't really rely on it to snow frequently.
Yeah. So, take us kind of through the evolution here at DirtFish. You've been here since the beginning. I mean, I know now we've got all these new classes. You guys are bringing in, open wheel car, or not open wheel cars, but open class cars, and you guys have GRC lights cars open for training. And now, granted, not everybody can drive those, but I mean, you guys have expanded your options. I mean, your catalog is getting quite big.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and to clarify, everyone can drive them eventually, depending on their background and training. We want to get everybody in to try something like that out, but it's been amazing, man. I mean, when we first started, it was like, fingers crossed, well, we'll see how long this sucker's going to last. And it's lasted so long and become really popular, and we've been able to develop some really cool programs and continue the development, too, rather than just offering the same old stuff that we have before. And, I mean, all of our cars have evolved since then. We started off with the earlier style all-wheel drive cars, and now we have the next generation all-wheel drive cars, and then the BRZs. So we have a whole new offering with rear-wheel drive. And like you said, the open class car is just awesome, and that lights car is insane.
Yeah. Well, and I know, just sitting through the class, and it's tons of returning guests, have come here and want to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's cool, too. I mean, that is one of our offerings is our 2-day advanced class, which requires somebody to have taken a 3-day beforehand. And it's cool to have everybody come back, and now being 5 years into it, we're actually seeing quite a few repeat customers, where in the beginning, we were lucky to see customers in the first place.
Yeah, somebody show up and you're like, all right.
Yeah, we get to work today.
Yeah. In some of the, it's funny because I keep track online and talk with the guys a lot, and I mean, there's not many classes that go unfilled. It seems like you guys are pretty booked out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, and that along with some corporate programs we've done, and we're doing a couple cool little side projects that are utilizing the property itself. So. We're 7 days a week going full tilt boogie here. It's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, you guys have a Beast Mode Challenge coming up, right?
Heck yeah! I can't wait to watch everybody do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're gonna get you in it.
Nope, I hear they have a beer garden though.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to the girl at the hotel bar last night, and her and I were talking.
I
sat there I'm happily married, man. But no, we were talking for a good hour, and what are you up here for? I said DirtFish, and she wanted to talk about the Beast Mode Challenge. I said, you know what? I said, I'd love to do that. She goes, you would? And I said, yeah. I said, I want to do the obstacles, but all the running in between the obstacles, I want a golf cart to take me to the next one. Said, take the golf cart, I'll do the obstacle, and then take the golf cart and drive me to the next one.
That's right.
The running half a mile between, that's for the birds.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's going to be fun, though. We get to, blaze a couple trails out there through the pricker bush and send some nuts people through the middle of it. So,
how about the rear wheel drive class? I know that's something new you guys started up last fall. How have those been going?
Oh, they're really cool. I mean, we're with the distances that we have here in terms of lengths of course, it's a totally different experience altogether. The all-wheel drive has its particular attributes that you pick up and focus on, and these are a little bit different. They're challenging, very challenging, but incredibly rewarding. Whereas it almost seems a little bit easy to drive the all-wheel drive car in comparison, just because there's so much more finesse required with the rear drive cars. The two-wheel drive is always going to be that way, and especially rear-wheel drive. They will bite you quickly. Yeah. You have to drive them properly versus the all-wheel drive, which will kind of mask some, less driving skill, we'll say.
Can cover up the blemishes,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why I like taking your all-wheel drive classes.
That being said, the all-wheel drive obviously is going to be faster, so I still like those ones too. Yeah, they just hook up so much better.
Yeah, well, we'll see how many cones I can kill this week.
Yeah, we did up our cone budget before you came. So.
Yeah, right. I'll get knocked with a tack-on bill at the end of the
That's
day.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
You owe us for 75 cones. All right. Well, appreciate you taking the time to stop by. I know, everything up here seems like between the GRC Lights program and all the schools, the classes, you guys are definitely popping and busy up here.
Heck yeah, man! It's so cool to be able to invite you back and have a spot available for you and have some more fun.
Yeah, well, especially bringing along a couple of guys who've, very accomplished in motorsports, but not necessarily in rally cars. I think they're amped just to get the rally bug,
Heck yeah, it's so cool to see those guys up here. And it's really fun to see people from different disciplines like that come in and try it out. And usually they do pretty darn good, although anyone who doesn't have a roll cage around them tends to suddenly feel invincible. And makes for an interesting afternoon as an instructor, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I just look at Levi and when you replay the video when he jumped the San Diego Harbor on a snowmobile, and I'm going, this guy's just nuts. You can put him on anything, and he's just nuts, and
yeah, exactly.
So, all right, Nate. Well, I know you've got some stuff you got to hop to, but we appreciate you stopping by, and we'll definitely have some fun the next couple of days.
Absolutely, man. It's great to have you back.
All right, thanks. All right, always awesome catching up with Nate Tennis, one of the OGs here at DirtFish, and man, he's he's seen a lot come through here the past couple of years, and seen this school grow, and definitely one of those guys that has a lot of stories to tell, that's for sure. But things are definitely popping here at DirtFish. But it looks like right now, next guest, James Rimmer, walking into the room. So we'll see if we can get James to sit down here, talk a little stage rally. Pull up a chair and grab a headset, buddy. Get him mic'd up and let's see, turn you on here. And how's everything going, James?
Going pretty well. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It's definitely been definitely been a fun day so far. Lots of guests and having Levi Lavallee up here, an X Games 7-time X Games gold medalist, Cole Cottew, and it's definitely fun talking with obviously Nate, having you here. It's to me this is like family. I come up here and I know everybody at this place, and it's like I get to see everybody, and it's like I haven't made my way down to the shop to see the boys down there yet, but it's always cool. DirtFish opens their arms for me, and I love it.
Oh, good. We're glad. We love having you here.
So let's talk about you. I know we talked with you at was it Olympus? You debuted that new BRZ. I know you've done a couple of events since then. How's everything going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. You saw me at Olympus. We had some technical issues and retired on Sunday and just kind of didn't make it through what we wanted to make it through, but decided to save the car a little bit and save up for Idaho, which was middle June. We got to Idaho kind of just saying that we want to finish the rally. I needed the experience. The car needed, frankly, the experience to work out all the little kinks and everything. So we got to Idaho, 2-day event, really pushed hard, and then and finished the event 4th in class, which was really great, and not too much damage to speak of. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, you feel like you finally getting your legs under you, and feeling out the car. I mean, no matter how much time you spend in one of these cars here at the school, it's being in your own car. There's always different tweaks, and
yeah. So the Olympus, when we talked, was I had gotten the beginning of the rally was Saturday, and I'd gotten into the car for 30 minutes for the first time ever on Thursday night. So that was jumping in that on Saturday was like, okay, I've got some learning to do. Spent quite a bit of time doing some testing in between, and then Idaho really jumped in with kind of a fresh view on the car and how it worked, and really realized how predictable it was and that I could throw it around and know what was going to happen.
Yeah, you felt faster at Idaho.
Yeah, and Idaho's roads are very, very forgiving. They're literally 4-lane highways with sand on them. They're the best roads.
You're not out in the trees and
no,
pulling branches out of radiators or anything.
No, nothing like that.
So what's up next for you guys with the BRZ program?
So we've got actually my co-driver Jason just texted me and told me that PFR actually got moved. I go off to college in early September, and the next race is PFR. I think it's mid-October now. It was originally beginning of October, which would have made it pretty difficult for me to make, but mid-October I think we can make work. So we're planning on that. We're hoping to have the other BRZ done by then too, which is the Turbo BRZ. That'll be pretty badass, and seeing 2 of them out there will be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and generally, I mean, you're going to see they finished your car, then you're going to see Derek's car run, and then immediately, we got to upgrade James's car, right?
I say I need a new one. No. I still have quite a bit of ways to push till I'm at the limits of that car. So I want to do that before I'm getting up any higher in power. Yeah.
Well, how's it been for you? I mean, living up here and having access to do some training here at the school.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I've been involved with DirtFish since the start. I was here when we first bought the property, and here when we first bought our first cars. And the way DirtFish has grown and kind of gotten into the motorsport, community, especially with things like you and Rally America, has been fantastic. And it's so great having this up here. Not many people are able to come up. I can say it's my summer now. I can say it's a Tuesday. I'm going to come up and drive today and get some seat time, which is just something that you cannot get in very many other places.
Yeah. Well, and I know even talking with Tanner just a little bit ago, and he was saying, the new DirtFish Lights program has been so successful right out of the box. But he's like, part of it is I have access to drive a car when I want, and he's like, a lot of these guys travel. Oh, we got to book a weekend to go travel to test, and for guys like him or you, it's let's just go and do it.
Yeah, let's just go and do it. And also you have the resources here to go and do it and say, this isn't working right, or this needs to be tweaked a little bit differently, and you can literally walk 100 feet, get it done, and then go out and test it again and just get that set up perfect for the next race or for whatever you're doing next.
Well, yeah, especially with the shop here, and then guys like Derek who been around. I mean, he's just he's just a mastermind when it comes to rally cars. He's just
absolutely.
Yeah. So other than that, obviously I got a few rallies. I mean, what's in the future? You're just going to stick with the BRZ for a while and try and get your feet wet in that and figure it out.
So the whole program for me started out as being, let's get you in a 2-wheel drive car, see what you can do, and then go up to a turbo all-wheel drive car. And everyone kept telling me that the BRZ, that you're not going to want to get out of the BRZ once you get in it. And I'm at the point now where I'm pretty much agreeing with that. It is a fantastic platform for a rally car, a rally cross car. It is such a great car. And it's so much fun being in a rear-wheel drive car with that kind of power, that kind of travel, that kind of setup. And so I don't know. We'll see where it takes me. I've been doing quite a bit of I've been back over in the UK and Wales a couple times over the past couple months driving historic rally cars. I did Goodwood this past year, which was really fun.
I was going to say, I heard you guys go to Goodwood. That had to have been a blast.
Goodwood was amazing. I've been for the last 4 or 5 years. This was the first year I'd driven because you have to be you have to have your Rally America license here or equivalent. So that was amazing. I drove a Mark I Escort, which was great. And then we went down to Wales the week after and did some driving in a Mark I Escort and a old Mark I Lotus Cortina, which was just absolutely fantastic. I can't even put it into words how amazing that was. But future-wise, we'll see. I want to keep doing this. It's a passion of mine. It all costs money in the end, so we'll see. But, I mean, I'd love to. It has to sync up with my school schedule and where I'm going forward. So,
yeah. Well, I got to ask you, talking about the vintage rally cars. There one in the back of your mind that's your favorite?
Ooh, geez. The thing with these vintage rally cars is that there are so many cool ones, and there are so many that are just impossible to drive. You get behind the wheel of some of the cars, like our RS200 in the lobby and stuff like that. I can't even. My foot sits on both the brake and the gas. Like I would just never be able to drive. But the Mark I Escort is something I've driven for the past couple years now, and for a 1970s car, it is just fantastic. I mean, amazing. It's a 5-speed dogleg box. Rear-wheel drive. It's sideways. It's got amazing amounts of power for a 1970s car on rally, and it's the car that people were winning the British Rally Championship in. I mean, so that probably sticks out as my mind as one of my favorite.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get in one of those cars and you're like, man, this thing was so far ahead of its time.
Exactly.
Like you said, then you get into some it's almost undrivable. It's like, what in the world? And you're a big guy. You're like me. You're pretty tall. And I get into some of those and go, man, no offense, but they must have had midgets back then.
I know, right? Well, there was another guy that was down at Goodwood with us, and he had an old must have been 1920s Bentley, original Bentley, and he had it had a center throttle. So the throttle was in the center, the brake was on the right, and the clutch was on the left. And I have no clue how people drove things like that.
Oh, geez. Too much fun. So going to college, got to ask you, what are you majoring in something so you can work in motorsports, or are you gonna get a real job?
I got to get a real job so I can support motorsports.
Yeah, that's the smart move. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I got to be able to pay for it somehow. At some point, someone's going to stop writing checks for me. But I'm super excited for the next 4 years, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure that motorsports will fit in there somewhere, in some way or another.
Awesome. At least fit in a few rallies a year.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how can you not with this out here and the car that's already built?
Yeah, you're gonna be the kid that spring break comes and everybody wants to go to Seattle, right?
They want to ride in my car. Yeah, exactly.
Let's go up to James's.
I'll be like, no, sorry.
Oh, nice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend, and stopping by, and we'll definitely catch up soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure, really, to be honest.
All right. No, well, thank you. And, your family's been great to me, and, and DirtFish has been great to me. And so
good.
Thank you guys for everything.
Of course.
All right. We're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, I think we're going to have Steve Rimmer calling in after the break. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. This is the DirtFish Rally Edition. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty radio show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris RZR products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris RZR. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com, or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. This is the DirtFish Rally edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and fun show so far. Levi Lavallee, Cottew, Nate Tennis, James Rimmer, Tanner Whitten. We're just packing them all in here today, and talking lots of rally, a little bit of snowmobiling, but also some big events happening over the weekend. Had some Lucas Oil down there in Baja taking the short course to Mexico. First time in a long time that the short course has been in Mexico, going down there to Estero Beach. And first time I think ever Lucas Oil has taken short course there. And definitely a great turnout. We'll get to those results later on in the show. But a solid event up there. And then we had big news over the weekend. Polaris RZR announcing their 2016, not over the weekend, last Monday, their 2016 RZR lineup. And I got to tell you, Polaris never ceases to amaze me. That's the easiest way to put it. They keep, they are number one, and a lot of companies, when they become number one, they rest on their laurels. They sit back, they relax, and go, just watch the money flow in. Polaris continues to reinvest in their brand, not only in marketing but in new vehicles, and and people continue to purchase them. It's one of those things where you buy one, and before you even have the thing paid off, it's they've already got a model better that you have to have as soon as that thing gets paid off. Polaris, they retain customers. They keep pushing. It's pretty amazing. But right now we've got Steve Rimmer calling in. How's everything going, Steve?
Hey, Jim. Great. Thanks. How are you?
Doing good. Sitting here at DirtFish in the McRae room doing a little radio. I got to say it's definitely a good day when I can say that.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and appreciate you spending some time up with us.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. Brought a couple of friends of mine, and we're going to do a 3-day here and see how 7-time X Games gold medalist handles a rally car. Let's say that.
Well, that will be an interesting one, and I'll try and get up there and see you guys.
All right, yeah, that would be awesome. But, great for you to call in. We just got done talking with James and talking about, his race program, and, and he's super, super excited for the future. But let's talk a little bit about DirtFish with you because, man, this place is just expanding like crazy.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, and it's turned a passion into a business, and with a great team up there, we've managed to expand the product offerings, but also, I think, maintain the excitement and enthusiasm of people, both within the team and all the visitors. And our aim is still to have people leaving with a smile on their face, but we understand that we've got to continually think about things and reinvent things, but try and not take our focus away from what we think we do really well and the reward that we offer people for coming there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, talking with some of the people, because I sat in the beginning classroom session for about 20 or 30 minutes before I had to break away and come do radio. But talking, and seeing those people, I mean, there's a lot of people that are returning guests, some of them returning guests, bringing family members this time. I mean, it's not all new blood. I mean, people come and Rally gets their hooks in them and they immediately, it's when can I come back, and I think that's what's remarkable about DirtFish is you guys get somebody here once, and it's not if they come back, it's when they come back.
Well, appreciate that, and we've had some fabulous support from our clientele. As I say, we've got to offer new things for them to experience and allow them to grow. and to encourage them to bring more people. I think the addition of the BRZs at the end of last year, early this year, brought a lot of people back. Maybe a lot of people who remember the old days of rallying where two-wheel drive was the most prevalent option in competition. And so there's some old people like myself who turn the clock back when you get in a rear-wheel drive car versus a four-wheel drive car. But we try to look at progression, but we also try and look at more variety as well. And we'll continue to look at that. I think the team have put together some more courses which offer some variety so that people come, when they do come back, their experience is something different. And we've got to continue doing that. But we don't try and take our eyes off the fundamental of why people come. It's rally based, but it's a great bucket list item as well.
Yeah. Well, and how has it been for you guys? I mean, you become such an amazing, diverse company. I know obviously you build some rally cars in house for people. You guys have started up your stage rally program. James has got driving a BRZ. I know Derek is currently building a BRZ. You've gone GRC lights racing. Tanner doing phenomenal there. I mean, how is bringing in the racing aspect? Is it kind of bringing everything full circle for DirtFish?
I think it's a part of the ladder that we want to build for DirtFish and the place it wants to play in the market. We are an experiential, fun place, but we're also serious about competition. And we want to be able to develop talent. And part of developing talent is taking them right up to the pinnacle of the sport, be that rally or rally cross, whichever people are looking at. And to do that, we needed to build from our one-day course to our 2-day to our 3 days, to actually building rally cars and rally cross cars, and then supporting people as they compete. And that involves both hands-on support and coaching support. So if you wind the clock back a little bit, we kind of jumped in at the deep end a few years ago by stepping up to take over the Dodge Rallycross effort with Travis and Bryce. And, that was a baptism of fire, but it taught us a heck of a lot of things. And one thing that it really taught us was teamwork was essential. The team there at DirtFish in the shop gathered a huge amount of experience of running a rallycross team. And when it came round to looking at an opportunity alongside Tanner to enter the GRC Lights this year, we saw that as a good way of not only putting our foot firmly in the aspect of the business of running a rallycross team, but also that developmental phase of drivers, taking people either from different sporting disciplines or just young people in motorsport and giving them the steps on the ladder so that we could take them out there and eventually run them in lights and who knows what else. And I think that also applies to rallying as well. We have built cars for people in the past, but we have never run a team or given people the opportunity to step in and support them in the competitive rally environment. So with running the existing BRZ, which, as you know, is relatively stock on the engine power front, but has some upgrades in terms of suspension, which we've taken back to basics and totally redesigned and installed a sequential box in there. And now we'll take that one more step further with Derek's car, which will have some significant power upgrades on the engine. Still two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive car. But again, once we get those established, working correctly, we'll be able to not only build cars for people, but also get them out there and run cars for people. So GRC Lights and our entry into the rally environment this year, we see as significant stepping stones to building the complete ladder where people can go from scratch up to full competition, and we can support them in every aspect of that, both coaching and physical, technical support on building and running cars for them.
Yeah. Well, and I got to ask you because you're very knowledgeable about rally. I know you've been passionate about it your entire life. I mean, how did DirtFish come about? Because I know you used to rally back when you were younger and kind of took a step away. And how did the whole DirtFish concept come about?
It takes a team, but it starts off at home. And the first step was convincing my wife that buying the mill site up there was a real estate investment. And once I convinced her that was the case, and then secondly convincing her that really what we should do is run a rally school on there, because it was the up-and-coming part of the motorsport that, I loved and was passionate about. That was the second phase of it. And the third phase was finding a team to build that business, and developing from passion into putting a business that is now self-supporting and building itself as a brand across North America is satisfying for both me and for the team that are there. But turning a passion into something that can be self-sustaining is a difficult thing. I think the one important thing I learned about the whole process was it gave me the chance to test my memory. My memory was that I used to enjoy rallying and thought I was halfway decent at it in my teens and early 20s. Getting behind the wheel up there at DirtFish has proven that my memory is not very good, and that maybe I'm not as good a driver as I thought I was. But it's also proven that rallying and getting behind the wheel is still as much fun, if not more fun, as it was when I was in my teens and early 20s and competing out there. So, passion-based, but now sustainable and an ongoing business and looking to grow.
Yeah, and this is from Levi Lavallee earlier on in the day, and I didn't know the answer because I know a lot about the history of DirtFish, and I got to ask Steve when I get him on air, because Levi was wondering, where did the name DirtFish come from?
We kicked around a whole bunch of ideas, and everything from ultimate rally experience to more generic. But as a lot of things in today's world, the marketing guys got hold of it and said, do you want to really define yourself just down one particular track? Ultimate rally experience puts you in one particular bucket. Or do you want to, create something that is more broadly able to address what you may do in the future? And we started off saying we had all sorts of ideas, but I've got to say, I think people now rationalize it. But the truth of the matter is, DirtFish was a marketing, branding type name, but I think it's rationalized today that, we're out there playing in the dirt, and sometimes and most often we fishtailing those cars around. So if you combine dirt and fishtailing, maybe that's something that was in the back of some bright spark's mind when they came up with the very market-driven name, brand-driven name, DirtFish.
Yeah. Well, and the questions are going to come now because I've got a ton of them for you, some fun questions. But I got to ask you, the RS200 that's sitting in the lobby here at DirtFish, okay? I know there's a lot of RSs, globally. I mean, not a ton, but they're out there. And I know this is one of just a small handful exactly like this one. What makes this one so special? RS200 named basically after the fact that you needed to produce 200 cars to have them homologated to go racing or rallying with. So Ford, in theory, built 200 of these cars. After Group B was disbanded, basically we're still left with a lot of unsold cars. So a lot of the cars ended up being rallycrossed in Europe. These road cars, there were probably in the region of 90 cars which actually went out on the road, and as part of that 90, subsets of the car actually had different specifications, everything from
a 250 horsepower car with a 2-liter BDA engine in it, up to a 600 horsepower car with a 2.1 BDA in it, and with twin turbochargers. That car actually is an Evo car, which really means it's got the 600 horsepower engine and package in it. And there were a subset, I believe, of about between 15 and 20 of those cars. And then as a subset of the Evos, there were 5 cars produced as Evo S's. And that is one of the Evo S's that exist in the world. And I actually only know of 2 that still exist, that being one of them. So it's a pretty special car, and it's something I built my way up to. I first bought a 250 horsepower road car, then I bought an Evo, and then found this Evo S. And that Evo S actually was found in Seattle, just down the road. And
wow.
Interesting story behind it. Won't bore you with too many details, but the previous owner of that car, his son was an avid rally guy and had said for his birthday he'd love a model of an RS200, and the guy went shopping on eBay one night and typed in RS200 and found that car for sale, the real car rather than the model, for sale down at Ron Tonkin, the Ferrari dealer down in Portland. And he's, the guy was an avid car collector, and he said, "Oh, I got to go and look at that." Flew down to Portland the following day, and I ended up driving it home. So it became a local purchase.
Yeah, I can't believe one that has been kept that local. It's pretty amazing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, totally.
Only 2 in the world, and one of them's been under your nose forever, right?
Yes, that's true.
Well, and last question on the vintage cars before we go. I know you've got quite a few in your collection. You go to Goodwood every year. Any particular car stand out that's one of your favorites? I mean, what is your favorite one to get behind the wheel of?
Taking me back to my youth, and as I say, recognizing my lack of capabilities as a driver, it's one that I feel the most comfortable in, and one that I enjoy getting behind the wheel of all the time, which is it's a Mark I RS 1600, which was the first one that Borum, the Ford competitions department at Borum, was the very first RS 1600 built. It's actually built for Roger Clark, who is a very well-known name in the rallying circle, certainly in Europe. And he drove it under in the what was called the Daily Express, a newspaper sponsorship colors. Competed over in the Safari as well as other competitions in Europe, and that car is just fabulous to get behind the wheel of, and it's just something that we had at Goodwood this year. The issue is it's getting a little bit fragile, so we have to be careful when we take it out there, especially when I'm driving it, but it's such fun to drive, and it takes me back. I would say the other thing that you see in the lobby up there, Jim, the car that really I would say is really fun and interesting to drive is that Focus of Colin McRae's. Mm-hmm. It's, for me to say this, you probably really would realize that this is true. It's easy to drive. So if I can drive it, many people can drive it. Colin obviously drove it a lot better than I would drive it, but it's such fun and easy to drive. And that's probably my second favorite out there.
Yeah, well, it's just a beautiful car, and I mean the history behind just about anything McRae's driven, it's pretty remarkable. But when I really started paying attention to rally on a global scale, I remember because you've got the Burns car there, and you've got that McRae car, and when I really started following rally, I mean those were the 2 cars, mix in some Mitsubishis and stuff like that, but those were the cars that were running out at the front. So to me, it's kind of cool to see the cars that got me into rally sitting there in the lobby.
Yeah, well, and Jim, you're aware, but my focus has been to try and get the Works rally car and then get the standard road car that it came from, and I don't know whether James has already spilled the beans. My wife probably isn't aware of it totally yet, but going on the boat next week, we'll be from the UK. We're heading over this way. We'll be a Lancia 037 road car, which we just acquired, and that'll be going into the collection. So the next step will be to find a Lancia 037 works car to go alongside it.
Oh, very cool. That's it should be awesome. Looking forward to seeing that next project come to fruition. It's going to be exciting.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. We had a little bit of fun driving it on the road when we were over at the Goodwood Festival of Speed this year at the end of June, and I look forward to getting it over here. Thankfully, it's over 25 years old, so I will be able to road register it and go out and enjoy it.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, Steve, and and thank you once again for having me up here at DirtFish and all the support you guys have lended me and things I do. And it's always been a family atmosphere when I come up here. Welcome with open arms, and I appreciate everything you guys do for not only me but the sport of rally.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for rally and motorsports generally, and we really appreciate having you associated with DirtFish. Thanks for that, and I'll look forward to coming up during the course of this week and catching up with you in more detail.
Yep, for sure. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Take care.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. All right, that was Steve Rimmer, owner of DirtFish, and Steve, just a phenomenal guy, and definitely very well spoken, but he really has been one of the driving forces behind North American Rally and really pushing things the past few years. It's just a breath of fresh air to hear kind of his vision for the sport and bring people in and create new rallyists. And they're doing a tremendous job here at DirtFish, and it's definitely fun to be up here. If you haven't ever been up here, you are definitely missing out. It's worth the trip, and the cool thing about DirtFish is bring the wife. If your kids or teenagers got a driver's license, bring them. Everyone is welcome. Come and take the class of family. I know there's a father with some sons up here as we speak. The more the merrier. And if you're looking to get in a class, I'll give you that discount code once again, JBDF 2015R, 10% off your class here at DirtFish. But in addition to some of the rally going on, here we had some events this weekend. Like I got started, the Polaris RZR Launch, and we only got a couple of minutes and got to take a break with Amy Hood calling in. But, RZR launching a new turbo 144 horsepower RZR, absolutely mind-boggling. This thing is just a beast, as well as a complete line of RZRs over the course of a couple of days, or over the course of one night. But they've also got the new RZR S1000 EPS with a 100 horsepower engine, and then they've got the original RZR 1000. So they've got the 1000, the 1000S, and now the 144 horsepower turbo. So plenty there for you RZR enthusiasts to get your feet at. I'm looking forward to some of these builds. I know I've already got a build in mind for this 2016 turbocharged model, and I'm sure you guys have some wild builds in your mind as well. But definitely good stuff. We're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, DirtFish Rally Edition. And when we come back, Amy Hood's going to be calling in, and she had a fun weekend. Lots to talk about there with Amy Hood. So that coming at you after the break. Thanks for staying tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. This is the DirtFish Rally edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We're getting down and dirty at DirtFish up here in Snoqualmie, Washington. And I got to tell you, guys and girls are out on the facility there. I'm looking out the window watching some rally cars just burn the tires off these things, having a good time. And I can't wait to get out there and take it all in here in just a little bit. Jump in. I'm missing the first half day of the class to do a little bit of radio, and I got to tell you, man, they are having some fun out there, sliding some cars around, mud slinging. Beautiful day up here. It's just phenomenal weather and cooled off a bit today, and looks like everybody is definitely having some fun. And having some fun, I got to mention DirtFish, this place lays host to all kinds of things. Coming up next weekend, Saturday, August 15th, those of you in the Seattle area, here at DirtFish, they're shutting down the school for a 3.5-mile obstacle course and mud run called the Beast Mode Challenge. Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode, he's putting on a Beast Mode Challenge here at DirtFish, 3.5-mile obstacle course mud run. Those of you that are in the Seattle area and you're tuned in, you definitely want to get in on the action. You can use the code DirtFish when you buy your tickets, save you $5. But right now, my partner in crime, Miss Amy Hood, is calling in. How's everything going, Amy?
Hey guys, what's up? There where you're at right now.
I know. I got to tell you, it's life couldn't be much better up here at DirtFish. I'm sitting here in the studio right now. Cole and Levi are out slaying some tires on some Subarus. But, yeah, we definitely got you MIA. We should have you up here playing with us.
I'm actually really upset right now that I did not get the invite. I'm just saying. It's a long weekend here in Canada, so I totally could have came. So I'm a little bitter. I'm bitter.
You're bitter?
Let you know.
You could have stowed away in Levi's bag.
You lost 1 brownie point.
I lost 1? Did I make any up this weekend? You went and had some fun at Levi's, though.
Oh, okay. I guess it all evens itself out now. So,
okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I literally had the coolest, funnest weekend ever. It was so awesome. Yeah. I'm still pumped about it.
Yeah. So take me through. I know you and Garrett went down there to Levi's. I know Levi. He and I were laughing. He said you did pretty solid.
Aww.
So. Yeah, he was telling me about how he lined up and drew a line, and he's like, all right, you're at a dead stop, and he's like, all right, hit the gas and don't let off, and you clear the jump. And he said you were pretty nervous, and you hit it, and then it was like, and you landed, and you're like, woohoo!
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, so it's funny because Garrett, he's a big snowmobiler. Like, he did a couple cross-country races, and he's a motocross racer too, but he's been following Levi forever. And it's funny because, I mean, I started off as a fan when I was little, but I was always that fan that, there's some people who are like, oh my God, it's Levi Lavallee. And there's people like, cool, yeah, let's be friends. And I'm kind of more along that line that all these people who are my idols, I still look to them as my friends. And, I always just try to aspire to be like them. And I think anything is possible. And it's funny because Garrett totally fanned out when we got to Levi's house, and we got there pretty late because it's a far drive. It was about like 6.5 hours, and we get there pretty late, and he has a little daughter, and I was like, oh no, like I feel bad going late. And then he gave me the address to his shop, so we pull into the shop. I just use Google Maps, and I'm like the shop or the house? And he's like, the house. I'm like, okay. So I go over to this house, and I see this old man sleeping on the couch, just lying back on the couch, mouth wide open. I'm like, I don't think this is the right place. And I called him. I'm like, is there an old man in your house? He's like, oh my God, you're at my parents' house. I'm like, what the heck? So I got the address to his house, and we made it to his house, but it was pretty funny. I felt bad if I was going to wake the guy up. But then we rolled into his house, and, super hospitable, just kind of chit-chatting, with Garrett and I can see Garrett, he just dropped my phone with it.
What's that?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what, are you throwing me around or what?
Yeah, I got excited. See, I'm still excited over everything. But yeah, okay, so we get into his house, and I look over to Garrett, and he's kind of getting he doesn't know what to say or do. He's a little shy, and then, gave us a grand tour. It's late, so we just went to the bedroom and went to pass out. And we're sitting in the bedroom, and Garrett's like, I'm sleeping at Levi Lavallee's house. I'm sleeping at Levi Lavallee's house. I'm like, oh my God, you're such a fanboy. Go to bed. But it's cool, when you get to see people who, are huge, iconic idols in motorsports and just doing amazing things, who are so normal and humble. I kind of got a new respect for Levi because I've met a lot of people, and I've, met some big names in motocross or, off-road or anything, lots of different types of racing. And Levi, I have to say, is hands down one of the most modest and humble person I've ever met. For an athlete who's accomplished as much as he has, he doesn't swear. He talks to you like you're an equal. There's a lot of people who don't do that. They always, they talk to you like they're superior to you. And there's a lot of pro athletes just with a bad attitude. And he's just such a good person and a good family. I mean, they took us out for breakfast, and we really just felt comfortable and like we're just going hanging out with a buddy for the weekend. And just how he talks about his stories with Travis Pastrana and, his Nitro Circus things, he explains it as if, he's still a fan of these guys. And he told us a story about sitting beside Jeremy McGrath and how he's like, oh my God, it's Jeremy McGrath. And we're like, oh my God, it's Levi Lavallee. So it's just really cool to see someone so humble. And, if you're not a fan of him, you will be now. So, yeah, super cool guy. And it's awesome that he invited us into his home. But yeah, okay, get to some racing stuff now. I mean, I have never ridden a Polaris RZR before this weekend. I've never sat in one, and I've, probably looked at one maybe twice in my lifetime. So I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. So Joe pulls up, unloads the RZR. We changed the tires on it because you have to put some bead lock, kind of off-terrain tires on those things. So we changed the tires up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take one lap with you. Show me how it's done. I want to see how you drive it. Well, get in there. I don't think the guy got on the brakes once. He just took me for the fastest lap of my life. I'm like, am I actually supposed to do this? Is this how I have to drive these things? And he has a nice little jump there, like a double. And it's, it's smaller, like height-wise, but it's the same length as most of the jumps that are made in Terracross. There's only so far of a jump you can build with those things because you don't have a lot of run-in.
Yeah.
But that was going to be my biggest obstacle. I'm like, okay, am I going to do this jump? Because in motocross, I've always played it very cautiously. I always work my way up to doing things. And, when you're jumping a tabletop, it's easy to jump halfway, jump a little bit farther, and then clear it. You can build it up and work up to it. In Terracross, when you got a double and, your only option is to hold it wide open and make it, or else you're going to pull a Jim Beaver and do a triple cartwheel flip, which is obviously not what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
So Levi, he took me for a couple laps and then put me in, and he's like, go do it. And he drew this line with his foot across, and he's like, okay, from right here, this is where you got to hold it wide open. And I'm like, okay then. And I'm sitting here at Levi Lavallee's house. This guy goes and does double backflips and God knows what, on the regular. And here I'm trying to just jump this little tiny double on a razor. And I'm like, I got to do it. I got to sack up and I got to do it. I'm at Levi Lavallee. It's like, I can't leave here like a wiener and not do this jump. So it was kind of cool because you're in this atmosphere where it's just, just do it. And it was cool. If his foam pit was open, I probably would have done a flip in there just because he was a great teacher and he, kind of build up confidence in you. And he's like, yeah, it's super easy. It's hit wide open. And you're like, all right, let's do this. So I got the jump down, and then I was kind of mastering the machine a little bit. It's a lot different than a bike, whereas when you do an obstacle or you're in the air, you can't land on the gas, or else you break the rear differential or something.
Yeah.
But in racing, whenever you land, you want to be on the gas to kind of get to the next obstacle. And it's funny because it's actually a technique I teach a lot in my motocross schools. When kids are trying to advance to that next level, you want to teach them to, when you're landing, you want to be on that gas. And you got to totally untrain yourself of that technique. And I think I kind of broke the razor at the end of the day there because I did this jump and you just want to gas it to, get a little bit of, make up some time for the next obstacle. And I think I might have broke it. So, yeah, but anyways, we ended on a high note. It was a really awesome weekend. We got some dirt biking in, and it was fun. He has a nice compound there. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I love his compound. He's got the foam pit with a whole rollaway for the winter and stuff like that.
So rad.
So, yeah, it's awesome. I've been there a couple times, and like you said, I can't say it enough. Levi's become a good friend of mine, but just I like Levi because he's the small town Minnesota boy that he always was. He's you would never know he is who he is until you know.
No, not at all. He takes us to this little diner kind of old-fashioned fishing little restaurant in the morning. He's carrying his daughter Liv with his beautiful wife, saying hi to all the older people in the restaurant. Oh, hi, Levi. Who's this little one? And it's just so cool. He's so normal. And kind of getting that experience, you kind of, it brings the world in a lot more. And you're like, wow, these people are just like us. And, that lifestyle is attainable. It just makes you think that I could do that, or I could get there, because he just seems so level-headed and he just has it all figured out. And I have met a lot of people who aren't like him. So it's I don't know if it's Minnesota, 'cause, him and Ryan Dungey. Everyone talks about Ryan Dungey being that good old Minnesotan boy, or he has manners, he's humble, he's does a lot of extra things or a lot of charities, and he's just a good, all-around great athlete and great ambassador of the sport. And that's Levi Lavallee, hands down. Super cool dude. And Garrett, when we left, Garrett's like, he's so cool. He's so nice. And it's very rare nowadays you meet people, especially athletes in motorsports industries, who don't swear. And there's Levi being like, oh, dang it, and shoot. And it's just so cool. He's so nice.
Oh, I've heard him slip up a few times. He's not that much of an angel, trust me. He's not that much of an angel.
He's cool, though. Cool cat. I love him.
Yeah,
and he has such awesome stories. The guy, I thought I talked a lot. That guy is just, he could go on forever. He just tells all these crazy stories, and it's so cool to listen.
Yeah, it was just at breakfast this morning. Him and Cole and I were sitting there, and the stories start flying, and it was just absolutely hilarious, And every time I've been around him, it's just stories, and that's what's funny, I've been so many places, he's been so many places, and like you have, I can only imagine, the bench racing that goes on if us three ever get together, but it's. Yeah, it's all good times, and like you said, he's definitely good people, and looking forward to heydays, man. Seeing him in his element. I mean, Minnesota, he's going to be a celebrity there. I'm looking forward to that. To see Levi Lavallee in his element.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome at heydays, especially with the whole Snocross tie-in and stuff. He's going to be the guy that everyone goes there for. That everyone wants to see Levi Lavallee, and now I know why. Now I know why he's such a fan favorite. So. Yeah,
well, and it's kind of cool being up here in Seattle where, it was like this morning. I mean, nobody knew who Levi Lavallee was, and it's for somebody like him, he probably loves coming places like that. I mean, obviously some people did, but a lot of people, waitresses and stuff don't know who he is, and he probably loves that, being able to be kind of incognito,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally understand that. So what else is happening? I saw something about you posted something, no way I'm getting in any kind of foam. That's gross. And then the next picture, all of a sudden, you're in a bunch of foam.
Yeah, I'm here. I was in Gimli for the weekend. That's kind of our lake beach town here in Winnipeg. It's about an hour north of Winnipeg, right on the lake. Really cool. And it's a very big Icelandic population. So they have Icelandic Festival in the summer in August long. So today is a holiday for us, and it's August long. And Gimli, the town of Gimli, throws like a huge festival. I mean, there's car shows, and they actually have a fantastic motocross track there. But I know they had a little bit of problems with the RM in the city of Gimli, or the town of Gimli, getting insurance for it. So they had to close the track down for the last couple of years, which sucked because it was so sick. It was so wide open. Like, that was a 4th-year wide open track. It was rad. But, they had tons of stuff going on. And then they had this, they have this little local bar there. Everybody goes to the bar. They set up a big tent with, like, a band. It's fun. But this year, they decided to throw a foam party. I mean, what country? And this is, like, a country town with a lot of, like, farmers and construction workers. Like, who wants to go in the foam? It's gross. Like, that's so nasty. So yeah, I was like, ew, I'm not going in that thing. And then I'm like, just whatever. I can't turn down a good time. So I just went in the phone. I'm ashamed. I'm very ashamed right now.
You sold out your values, Amy.
I did. Okay, it's really funny because back in the day, we used to have these underage parties here. Because, I mean, the drinking age in Winnipeg is 18, which is really young. But when I was like 16, 17, they used to throw these like underage parties at the bar. And they had a foam party. And I remember, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the foam. So I, like, strutting my stuff through the foam, kind of like swim through it. It's pretty gnarly. And I went right up to the front where they have, like, this cannon that shot the foam out. And I almost drowned. Like, the foam was over my head, and I'm, like, trying to breathe, sucking in this foam. It was a horrific experience. It was terrible. And I was, like, crying and, like, yeah. I almost died.
Well, you didn't know. I mean, to be in a foam party, they have one of those signs like they do at Disneyland. You got to be over 5'6".
Honestly, it was just a terrible experience. It ruined it. And I always told people, I'm like, ew, don't go to foam parties. You're gonna die. You're gonna drown.
Oh, too funny. Too funny. So yeah, you guys are on. What holiday is it in Canada today? Because I know you said I'm getting up to speed on my Canadian culture here. So what holiday is today?
August long. I have no idea. I don't really know. We have all these kind of like long weekends. We have May long and August long, and I really don't know if there has to do with any like type of civic holidayness or some queen's birthday or something. I have no idea. It's just a holiday. So it's kind of like those holidays that everybody goes camping, or we have huge like doubleheader races or something. So August long and May long are more known for like the adventure weekend. So yeah, this weekend we definitely did it good and went down south. But yeah, I mean, where Levi lives is so cool. There's so many little lakes, and Like the scenery and like kind of landscape and everything is so nice. Like I would love to live down there. I love Minnesota. It's such a beautiful state. And I'm actually going to be going down, not this weekend coming up, but next weekend, a little bit past Levi's house in, it's kind of by Duluth.
Okay.
There's an amazing track called Brookston or Echo Valley, and my dad just raves about it. He went down there for Vet National a couple of years ago, and he said the track is just ridiculous. It kind of, you're jumping into valleys and up valleys, and the soil and dirt is just super loamy and amazing. And me and the girls, it's about a 7.5, 8-hour drive, but we're going to load up on Friday and pin it down there and do some racing. So. But it's a big race. I think it's a part of the District 23 series, which is a little bit more fast-paced race series. So I'm hoping there's going to be a couple of other fast girls down there. But, I'm really excited to go back down. I love Minnesota. It's such a pretty state.
Yeah, we might...
And everyone's like, oh, Minnesota's so flat. You can watch a dog run away for 5 days. I don't know. I mean, it's still...
It's so not, though. It's rolling hills, but it's not flat. I mean...
And there's so many little lakes, and they're beautiful. Like, it's so cool.
Well, the thing is,
driving, you just smell a lake. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough that the lake home we go and spend time at every summer, my in-laws' lake home, is within about 10 minutes of Levi's. So it's.
Is it Leech Lake?
What's that?
Are you on Leech Lake?
No, I'm on Lake Sylvan. It's really, really close to Leech Lake, like almost where I could throw a rock in.
Yeah, I mean that's the land of thousand lakes there. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I absolutely love going up there. And actually, I know we were talking about at the end of August. I've got I'm hosting Rally America Radio from Detroit Lakes, which is real close to Fargo, and you were talking about maybe coming down for that and get you a little rally culture, huh?
That would be ridiculously awesome. Yes. Sign me up, 200%.
Yeah. Well, I know Pastrana's entered in that event too. So, and I think Joe Duncan's going to come up for it. Maybe we'll see if we can snag Levi to come up and get everybody exposed to rally culture.
Fun. I'm in.
So yeah, well, I'm going to give you a mic. I'm putting you to work.
Okay, I'm down.
So
little work, little play. You got to have an equal balance of it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a mic and tell you to go interview Pastrana. How about that?
Awesome.
All right, it's a deal. You come down.
Probably fangirl out a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Oh, Trav's fun to interview because he's like Levi. He's just a good guy and amped up on life. He's it's like it
has that like southern drawl, like the cool lingo and stuff.
But I think Travis wakes up and drinks a gallon of Red Bull. I really think he does.
Yeah, well, I kind of outdid Levi this weekend. I think I went into his Red Bull fridges about 10 times. So.
Yeah, last time I was up at his place, they just got their shipment for the winter, and he literally had pallets of the stuff sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's funny because everybody's got their certain flavor they like, and I think everybody takes cases of that. And then there's like one or two random flavors that you can tell nobody on the team likes because they're just stacked up,
Yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
Yep.
So what else is happening in your world the next couple of weeks? Got any motocross races coming up?
Yep. Well, that one I told you next 2 weeks. This weekend, I'm kind of in the debate between going to a doubleheader here in Manitoba, or actually there's this amazing event called MotoFest. Like, how sick does that sound? Even the name just makes me want to go. But they used to call it Motopalooza, and they used to host it at Millville. Bob Cycle, a big motorsports dealership down in Minnesota, would go, and they bring out all these things you can, like bikes and gear and, like Liette or Atlas braces and, different kind of boots and stuff. They bring all these products out that people can test and actually try out on the track. And it's super, super cool. It's almost like a big swap meet, but you're not really like buying and selling, you're testing. And it costs $30 to be there all weekend. So, I mean, usually, think of it. You go to a motocross race, it's like $50 for camping. You do 2 classes, that's like $100. And then, times 2 days, you're spending a lot of money. And I'm like, I'm a chick on a budget. I'm on the broke girl diet here. So it's hard to do those double weekends where you're racing 2 days And then you got to drive like 7 hours to get to the race. Like, it's expensive. So this MotoFest is rad because it's only $30 for the whole weekend. That's camping and 2 days of open practice all day. And then they have a band and food and all these cool activities. So I pretty much just talked myself into going to MotoFest right now. So yeah, I think this weekend I'll be heading out there. It's in Staples, Minnesota.
Okay.
It's about 6 hours away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll be a ton of fun. And
of course.
Yeah, I got a weekend off, and then I get to go race a 550-mile race in a trophy truck. So yeah, I'll be busy the following week.
That's right. Why don't you ever come to one of my races? You should come down and come check out me and my domain in my territory.
Yeah, we need to figure something out. We'll get it dialed in with one of the big ones. We'll come and I'll do like a live radio show from one of them, and we'll figure something out. We need to do something up there for sure.
Yeah, I got to bring you to my hood.
Yeah,
time for you to come to my hood.
I've never been to Canada, so yeah, it'll be. I've been really close to Canada, but never crossed the border. So.
Well, you're missing out and a lot of fun.
Yeah, got to try out some Canadian beer, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll take you moto chick style. You'll have to come with me and my 4 girlfriends and really experience what life is like for a chick at the track.
I was gonna say, Are you really gonna make me stay in the motorhome with you guys?
Oh yes, you're getting the full moto chick experience. Like, we should start selling our experience as a tour package. Like
$500 a weekend.
The full moto chick experience. That'd be awesome.
Jesus, I'm gonna wake up with lipstick on my face and no telling what you guys are going to do to me.
No, we're not that girly. Come on. You may have some straightened hair, but that's about it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, Amy, and I'm going to go and drive some rally cars here in a bit. I need to talk with Trevor, my boy here at DirtFish, the marketing director. We got to get you up here. I know Joe wants to come up here. I can tell you already, Levi's going to come back. I haven't even talked to him, but I know already he's going to want to come back. So we're going to have to put on this whole do a whole Terracross 3-day or something like that, and get Joe and you and Levi and maybe get Cole back, and who knows, man, get a bunch of people. Maybe I bet we get Renner up here. All I have to do is ask Renner, and Renner would be here. So yeah, we can.
Hey, can we just touch on something before we head out here? We got 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Robbie Madison Wave Dream or Dream Wave or whatever that freaking video that he just put out where he is actually surfing down a wave on a motorcycle, on a dirt bike?
Yeah, I posted it up yesterday, and I got to tell you, as a guy who surfs and a guy who rides dirt bikes, obviously not as well as you, but to me, I'm familiar with Chopu, the wave that he did, and that's literally one of the deadliest waves in the world. Thing is so heavy, the walls are so thick, and for him to I would have never even thought about putting skids on a dirt bike. I didn't think a dirt bike, it was possible to do what he did. I didn't think it was humanly possible. I would have never even considered it. And then, you would think going just across a flat lake would be tough. No, he takes it to Chopu, like the world's deadliest wave, and decides to ride it there. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing, When he did the ski jump, I was like, it's cool, but there's probably, 20 guys in the world that would have no problem doing that. This, absolutely not. I don't think you can get any takers to do what he did.
Honestly, I looked at the picture on his Instagram. Oh, and by the way, he went from 130,000 followers on Instagram to 218 overnight. Yesterday I looked, and that's how many he had. And I'm going to check out this video here. I want to tell you, when I first looked at it, and it must have been right when he dropped it, there was 10,000 views on the video, and I really just want to see here. Hold on, how many it has now. Oh, it's soft. Well, we'll have to find out that stat later. But I looked at the picture on Instagram. I'm like, what? That's Photoshopped. Because you can see the kind of trail where he came in on the way, dropped in. He kind of more came in on the side. But the last one, it looked like he did drop in a little bit. And I'm like, no way, Photoshop, impossible. So I clicked it. I clicked the link and I watched the video, and my jaw was down. It was legit down. And the last scene where it has, all the foam and the bubbles and stuff from the wave, and you just see him peek out. I'm like, oh my God, I just lost my mind. I was like, no way. And I sent the link to the video to everybody on my phone. I'm like, watch this. Incredible, unbelievable. It goes to show how crazy athletes are nowadays, just taking things to the next level, and always surpassing that standard of what's crazy. They just blow it out of the water. So it's pretty remarkable. We got to try to bring him on the show. I'd love to see where he got that dumb idea.
Well, and that's it. Like, you even look Levi's good friends with Matto, and they did the whole thing in San Diego where they jumped the harbor together, and that's a Red Bull deal, and I still look at it and I think it's insane how far Levi jumped and Robbie, but, it's doable, but, jumping a ski lift on a dirt bike, which was, I think, Matto's last deal, I can understand that. Everybody sees a ski jump and goes, hey, that'd be cool to jump off of, right? I can understand that. But to do what he just did, like, who has a twisted enough mind to think that,
Yeah. And do you see him, like, he came in there, like, he's going wide open. And I understand him to, like, cross the ocean. Cool, let's just go and drive, like, he was kind of driving on the ocean there or whatever. Who goes and drops it on a wave? I can't even surf on a surfboard, never mind a dirt bike. Like, how do you do that? Who thinks of that? And who has, the balls enough to go and try it? Like, it's just crazy. It's just unbelievable. And I'd like to see if there's any outtakes, to see if there's any times he flipped up. Like, did the bike ever fall in the water? Did he ever have any mistakes?
Yeah.
I'd like to see some of the B-roll footage.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing with that wave, because I'm familiar with it. It's what makes it so deadly.
I'm from Canada. I am not familiar with waves.
Well, so get this. That wave there, what makes it so deadly is like 2 feet under the water is a razor sharp reef. So if you crash on a surfboard, you're pretty much donezo. You're not going to die, but you're going to get ripped apart by coral reef. So you just don't fall. So for him to do it, that takes, I'm telling you, he had some sack to do that. I mean, it's just, wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, we gotta make that happen.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody in the world wants an interview with Matto, but I'll definitely reach out.
I know.
And see if we can do it. Hey, we pulled it off with Josh Sheehan when he pulled the triple backflip. So Matto, I'm not counting it out. We'll see what we can do.
This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show. People should want to be on your show.
Yeah.
So we'll make it happen.
We will make it happen at some point. But all right, I gotta go drive some rally cars here. Wishing you were here.
Yeah, go have some fun. Get out of here.
Yeah, wishing you were here, but we'll do it next time. That's a promise. When I make a promise, shit happens. So, well, I just said that on air, but things happen.
You.
So, all right, Amy, take it easy, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, and have some fun.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Amy Hood, and we have to wind things down here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. This is the DirtFish Rally edition, and Robbie Madison, insanity. Go and check out that YouTube video now, and like I said, Lucas Oil, they were in Baja this weekend at Estero Beach, and off the hook, just giving you a real quick rundown on some of the results. We don't have much time. We've got Jen Hellstrom will be calling in next week with all the results in full and all the storylines that happen down there. But Pro 2, RJ Anderson, he took a victory, got his very first ever Pro 2 victory. My General Tire teammate Robbie Woods also on the podium. Pro Light, RJ Anderson winning that as well. And then looking down, it looks like Kyle LeDuc, 10th in a row, 10 straight wins for Kyle LeDuc. So, talk about a good day of racing action. The first day down there, though, Pro 2, it was Bryce Menzies, Rob Mack, Brian Deegan, your 1, 2, and 3. And then Pro Light, it was Brandon Arthur, Brock Hager, and R.J. Anderson, your 1, 2, and 3. And obviously Pro 4, Kyle LeDuc, snatching that up and taking that away. But we're going to have full coverage of that next week on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, just giving you a little teaser of some of the results that did go on this weekend. Got to give a big shout-out to Polaris RZR General Tire, Rigid, UPR.com, Blue Resort and Casino, Jamar Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, Intense Tees, and most importantly, DirtFish. This is the DirtFish Rally edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, live here from DirtFish. Don't forget to give them a follow at DirtFish Rally, and give me a follow at JimBeaver15, Instagram, Twitter, and Periscope, and Amy Hood. She's available at AmyHood71. Get our app. A new one is dropping very soon. It's finished. We're waiting on the upload process currently. So it should be here soon. I don't know. We're kind of waiting on Apple and Google and such to get things ironed out. But man, it's been an awesome one. Winding things down here in next week. We're gonna have a Vegas to Reno preview, and then we'll be airing live from Vegas to Reno continuously at the General Tire booth. So look forward to that. But a big shout out to DirtFish Rally School for having us. And Polaris RZR, as always. This is Jim Beaver on behalf of Amy Hood. We are signing off here. I'm going to go do some rally racing. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. As always, game on.